talking about the allegory of the tree and the branches and the trunks, I'll tell you that some of the intermediate steps that we have been able to achieve have been giving civil society and the data protection authorities voice. The agenda has allowed the dialogue to continue to establish what are your concerns about digital identity, either from a regulatory point of view or from the perspective of the people who might be excluded in the field. So for me to summarize the outcome of this massive event would be like describing a tree that is with many branches and many different layers, the low-hanging fruits to the highest fruits that are still not ripe but on their way to ripen and become red and available. So we're very excited about what we're seeing. We're very excited about what we saw because it did hit on every aspect of our objectives. What outcomes are expected is that these delegations are going to go back to their countries filled with lessons learned, filled with very specific recommendations, and if not that, at least a motivation to push the political will to say we cannot afford to stand still. We must move faster because the continent is moving fast, the world is moving fast, and anyone left behind will miss out on this digital revolution that we're living. So I think there is a major appreciation. It's not, this conference and this event did not just have technical people. It had many members of parliament. It had senior principal secretaries who are authorities that have the decision-making capacity to influence laws and to influence programs and regulations. Every single delegation that I've met with, which was headed by a political figure, gave us the assurances that this event gave them the motivation, the enthusiasm, and the necessary ingredients, if not to start, but to get the political leadership sensitized to the need to start. But I think I'm expecting big things to happen from this. Things in the sense, I mean, we can talk about the specific technical details, but that's wasting your time and mine. What we have to talk about is the idea that the continent is now aware more than ever, and that the number of people that got exposed, we had more than 1,000 government officials. So when 1,000 government officials all say this was enormous knowledge, and for us, you can expect when they go back home, that's when the results will begin. Ethiopia performed admirably, very well as the host, and thanks to several elements. First of all, the political will came from the top. His Excellency, the Prime Minister, was here with us. But it wasn't just a passive visit. He had followed our progress in the preparations for this event. He had given the guidance necessary for the group, which was the engagement unit within his office and within the National Identity Project. But Ethiopia also gave us infrastructure. As you know, Ethiopia has been going through significant developments. A year ago, or maybe 6 months ago, if you walked down the street just in front of our hotel, you would have seen basically a different world, a world under construction. Now we're seeing the beauty of Addis to start. And that's just a superficial reflection. Go deeper and you will see. Internet was excellent, thanks to Ethiopia Telecom. The transport to bringing people in was terrific, thanks to Ethiopian Airlines. The hotels and the facilities were phenomenal, thanks to the Skylight Hotel, which is Ethiopian group. So when you talk about all the ingredients aligning, it was a perfect alignment of capability. And then, of course, the spirit of the people. The spirit of the people of Ethiopia is a spirit of hospitality and warmth. Last night it was demonstrated in a series of cultural events that our government delegates benefited from attending, and they enjoyed it thoroughly. So for us, it's not, we don't take coming into a country lightly. This project started 3 years ago. We came in and up until the moment where we launched this project in Ethiopia, there was at least 6 meetings, 6 visits, 6 planifications, even the sites and how you develop the floor plans and how do you develop the conference tracks. This is a conference where we had 5 tracks today. Running 5 tracks, never been done before, and that taxes the infrastructure. But the country performed admirably, and we thank the leadership and we thank the people of the country of Ethiopia for actually making this a joint success. It's going to propel us for the next step forward, and that, as you all know, we have announced it. It will be Abidjan, the Côte d'Ivoire, for 2026, and we will go from one success to the next. I believe for any digital identity program to succeed in the country, there must be awareness and there must be political will at the highest level. The president or the prime minister of the country must declare and commit to the people to say, we know, we understand that we are now entering an era where it is the digital era. With the digital era, we risk having so many people left behind if we do not make the commitment to accompany you, to give you the ability to participate. This is a world that could be bewildering to a lot of people who don't have the skills. So this is not just about let's procure equipment and stacks and material. This is about transforming society in locksteps with human rights and with locksteps with the objective of enabling people to do more with their lives and to benefit from the fruits of development. So I think digital transformation, especially digital transformation anchored on digital identity, in my opinion, is one of the most transformative human events that are going to create a different method for countries that in the past have suffered because of lack of infrastructure. So we are going to see African countries giving services to their citizens at a distance. You no longer need to go 30 kilometers in order to get a document signed. If you think about who is going to benefit the most in the world from this digital revolution, it is Africa, because this will enable Africa to leapfrog and not have to invest in physical infrastructure, but pass directly into the digital infrastructure for the service for all. You're like asking a mother or a father, what is one of your favorite children? You can't ask me to choose which child is the favorite. I'll say the youngest until they grow, the oldest until they leave the house. You know, it's every single one has something unique. Africa is the land of uniqueness. Every country has its own tastes, cultures, colors, requirements and constraints. I can tell you that in the landscape of digital transformation and development, we featured 11 countries on day one, because 11 African countries, and we consider those countries the top leading countries, right? They're in a class by themselves. You know, among them was Ethiopia, among them was Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Benin, Mauritius. I'm sure I'm forgetting, and Mauritania, forgetting a few. But on our program, we featured those countries. Now, we have the benchmarks to know how they're performing. Overall, they're the top 11 countries. But inside between them, there are some domains where they're doing better than others, because there is no such thing as one number that can assess who's the best. It is a multi-dimensional domain of comparison. But I can tell you, this event should have given you an idea about the intensity of the progress that's being in Africa. It is a reflection. We've given Africa first the voice. We have so many voices that had to be heard, and we see how much progress is being made. And that's why I would say I'm very optimistic about the next step, because once you've started, you're going to accelerate. And the younger countries in the development scale, in the digital development scale, will benefit from the fact they visited here, and they will be able to accelerate and follow their brothers and sisters in the leading countries.